Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to wherever you might be at. So today we're going to talk about signals. This is just going to be a basic Signals 101 class talking about clear, approach, stop. This will be part one of multiple series, because I tell you what, when you get into signals, there's a lot of signals, and every single railroad is just a little bit different. And every railroad has multiple signals from different railroad companies throughout the mergers, so it gets a little confusing. So we're going to keep it simple, because that's the way to do life, right? Keep it simple. So here you have three examples of clear signals. From left to right, you have a searchlight signal. In the back there, you have a position light signal from the Pennsylvania and or Norfolk and Western. And on the right side, you have a semaphore signal. All these display the same aspect of clear. Clear meaning proceed to the next signal at track speed. So, and you're always under the assumption that the next signal is clear as well, otherwise you'd have an approach. Therefore, we go to the approach signal. All right, here we got the approach signal lit up on the left. I do not have an approach signal on the position light signal back there. There's a bulb burned out and I have to replace that. So it's not shown, but the semaphore shows an approach signal. Approach signal says to the engineer and the crew, and the rule also states that proceed to the next signal prepared to stop. If you're going over 30 miles an hour, you must slow down to medium speed, 30 miles an hour, prepared to stop at the next signal. And the next signal is a home signal, so it is a stop signal. That's why these signals are telling the engineer and the crew to stop the train at the next signal. And here we have stop signals displayed, with the exception of the position light signal. That's really the wrong signal for an interlocker, but just pretend you don't see that little light below the horizontal lights. And I'll explain that one here in just a second. So from left to right, stop signal, and stop signal. And that just basically, like it says, it tells the crew, stop the train. Now, in real life, when I worked on the railroad, we never pulled the train all the way up to the signal. We always stopped about 5 cars from the signal, just in case there was any issue stopping, so that we did not go through the signal, because that's a bad day and that'll get you 30 days on the street. So once again, all the railroads, stop signal means stop on all of them. And you may get confused by seeing a red signal and the train will creep through there at restricted speed. Well, I will go into details about the restricting signal and what makes a restricting signal in the next video. Now let's look at that position light signal in the back. It shows stop, but that's a little light underneath of there. So what does that mean? When I did the trailer, I asked, what's wrong with that? Why is that the wrong signal? Nobody answered, but that's okay. So what that is a stop and proceed signal. So for an interlocker, that's absolutely wrong, because that's a home signal, so you would not stop and proceed. So with a stop and proceed signal, that's an intermediate signal. That light at the bottom tells the crew they do not have to stop, because that signal is on a grade, and according to the Pennsylvania and their rule, if the train was more than 80% of the tractive effort or the pulling capacity of the locomotive or consist, then they did not have to stop and they could just roll right through at restricted speed. So for the next video, we'll look at advanced approach, we'll look at approach restricting, we'll look at diverging clear, and we'll even go over the different types of signals from other roads that sort of mean the same thing, but they might display a different aspect. For example, on CSX up near Cary, we would always come up there pulling up a grade, and we would get a limited clear, which told us we were going from our main over, crossing the CSX through a crossover to our track on the other side, which was double track dispatched by the CSX. But it was really, one track was Norfolk Southern, the other track was CSX. But that limited clear told us we could take that at 45 miles an hour. But pulling up the grade, we never was over probably maybe 30 miles an hour with a heavy train. So that flashing green light with a red above it meant limited clear, versus just a green light with a red above it, which is medium clear. So a little bit different stuff here, and we'll go into detail about that. Just a little teaser there at the end of this video. I thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And these videos will get better. Bear with me. I've only been doing this about 2.5 months. It's kind of fun, kind of hectic at the same time, but I hope the videos that you have watched are enjoyable. I hope you get a little something out of them. I try to throw a little history in there about the locomotives, and every video will get better. And stick with me and bear with me, and I think you'll enjoy what's coming up. Thank you.